You wake up Monday morning and your brain feels like it's swimming through molasses. You've got this important project due, but every time you sit down to work on it, you feel like you're fighting against some invisible current. By 3 p.m., you're mysteriously wide awake and focused right when you need to pick up the kids or head to that mind-numbing meeting. Sound familiar? You're not broken. You're just working against your natural energy rhythm instead of with it. I'm Tony, and I've spent years watching peakling myself burn out because we try to force productivity instead of finding our natural flow. Today, I want to share something that changed everything for me. A simple 3-day method to discover your personal peak energy window. And here's the thing, once you know when your brain is naturally wired to perform, you'll stop feeling like you're swimming upstream all the time. If you've ever felt exhausted from constantly pushing yourself, if you've wondered why some days feel effortless while others feel like you're dragging yourself through quicksand, this conversation is for you. Because what I'm about to share isn't about grinding harder. It's about working smarter by understanding the beautiful, complex rhythm your body already knows. Let me start with something that might surprise you. Your energy isn't random. It's not a character flaw when you feel tired at 2 p.m., and it's not willpower that makes you feel sharp at 10 a.m. or 9 p.m. Your body runs on what scientists call circadian rhythms. Think of them as your internal biological clock. But here's what most people don't know. You also have ultradian rhythms, which are these 90-minute cycles throughout the day where your energy naturally peaks and dips. It's like having small waves within the bigger tide of your day. Now, here's where it gets interesting. We all have what's called a chronotype, basically, your personal energy blueprint. Some people are natural early birds, others are night owls, and many of us fall somewhere in between. But here's the kicker. Most of us have no idea what our actual chronotype is because we've spent years forcing ourselves into schedules that don't match our biology. I learned this the hard way. For years, I tried to be a morning person because that's what all the productivity gurus said. I'd set my alarm for 5:30 a.m., drag myself to the gym, and wonder why I felt like I was moving through fog until about 10 a.m. Meanwhile, my most creative ideas would hit me at 9 p.m., right when I was supposed to be winding down. The research is clear. When you align your most challenging tasks with your natural energy peaks, your focus improves by up to 40. Your creativity flourishes. Your motivation doesn't feel forced because you're not fighting against your own biology. But here's what happens when we ignore these natural rhythms. We make more mistakes during our low energy periods. We experience what researchers call decision fatigue, that heavy feeling when even choosing what to eat for lunch feels overwhelming. We burn out faster because we're constantly swimming against the current instead of riding the wave. So, how do you find your unique energy pattern? That's exactly what we're going to do together with this 3-day tracking method. And I promise you, it's simpler than you think. Here's what you're going to do, and I want you to think of this as a gentle experiment, not another thing to perfect. For the next 3 days, you're going to become a scientist of your own energy. Every 2 hours, you're going to check in with yourself and ask, on a scale of 1 to 5, how's my energy right now? But here's the crucial part, you're not just tracking the number. You're going to note what you were doing, how you slept the night before, whether you had coffee, if you just ate, how you're feeling emotionally. All of it matters because energy isn't just physical, it's mental and emotional too. Let me show you what this looks like in practice. On day 1, you might write 10 a.m. energy level 4, working on emails after good sleep and coffee, feeling focused. Then maybe 2 p.m. energy level 2, just after lunch, feeling sluggish and distracted. And later, 7 p.m. energy level 4, cooking dinner, feeling surprisingly clear-headed. The key is honesty. I know it sounds obvious, but we're so used to pushing through that we often don't even notice when we're running on empty. One woman I know discovered she was trying to do her most creative work at 2 p.m. every day, right when her energy naturally crashed. Once she moved that work to 9 a.m., her productivity tripled, and she stopped feeling like she was bad at focus. Now, here's something important. Set gentle reminders on your phone. Not harsh alarms that make you feel like you're being monitored, but kind little nudges that say, "Hey, how are you feeling right now?" Because the magic happens when you start noticing patterns without judgment. And please, don't try to change anything during these 3 days. Just observe. Think of yourself as a loving, curious researcher studying the most fascinating subject in the world, you. After 3 days, you're going to look at your data, and I promise you'll start seeing patterns. Maybe you'll notice that you're naturally sharp from 9 to 11 a.m., then again from 3 to 5 p.m. Or maybe you'll discover that your best thinking happens in the evening, and all those years of forcing morning productivity were working against your natural rhythm. Here's what Sarah discovered when she did this exercise. She's a graphic designer who always struggled with afternoon creativity blocks. Her tracking showed that her energy peaked at 7 a.m., dipped at noon, then surged again at 8 p.m. So she started doing her most creative work first thing in the morning and late at night, using midday for admin tasks and client calls. Her income increased by 30 that year, not because she worked more hours, but because she worked during her natural peak performance windows. Or take David, who realized his energy crashed every day at 3 p.m., right when he scheduled his most important meetings. Once he moved those meetings to 10 a.m. and used 3 p.m. for easier tasks like email, his confidence at work improved dramatically because he was no longer fighting brain fog during crucial conversations. Now, once you've identified your patterns, here's how to work with them instead of against them. I want you to think of your day as having 3 types of energy: high, medium, and low. And here's the beautiful thing: each type of energy is perfect for different kinds of tasks. During your high energy windows, tackle what I call deep work, the stuff that requires focus, creativity, and complex thinking. This might be writing, problem solving, learning new skills, or having important conversations. These are your golden hours, so protect them fiercely. During your medium energy periods, handle routine tasks that still require some focus, but aren't as demanding. Think responding to emails, making phone calls, organizing, or doing moderate exercise. These tasks won't drain you, but they still move your life forward. And here's something revolutionary. During your low energy times, rest isn't lazy, it's strategic. This is when you do gentle activities like light stretching, meditation, casual reading, or social activities that don't require intense focus. Your brain is actually doing important background processing during these times. But here's where most people go wrong. They try to force high-energy tasks during low-energy periods and then wonder why everything feels so hard. It's like trying to run marathon pace during a recovery jog. You're just going to exhaust yourself. Instead, start calendar blocking your week based on your energy patterns. If you're sharp in the morning, block 9 to 11 a.m. for your most important work. If you crash at 3 p.m., schedule that time for easier tasks or even a brief walk. If you come alive in the evening, maybe that's when you tackle personal projects or plan tomorrow. Here's a game changer. The Pomodoro technique becomes incredibly powerful when you align it with your natural rhythms. During high energy periods, you might work for 45-minute focus blocks. During medium energy, stick to 25-minute sessions. During low energy, even 10-minute gentle activities can be restorative. Now, let's talk about the long game, because this isn't just about 3 days, it's about redesigning your life to work with your natural rhythm instead of against it. The beautiful thing about understanding your energy patterns is that you can start making small adjustments that compound over time. Maybe you negotiate flexible work hours that match your chronotype. Maybe you stop scheduling important calls during your natural dip periods. Maybe you finally give yourself permission to do creative work at 10 p.m. instead of forcing it at 8 a.m. I want to share something a friend told me that changed my perspective completely. She said, "I used to think I was lazy because I couldn't focus in the afternoon. Now I know I'm just human, and humans have natural rhythms. Working with my energy instead of against it isn't cheating, it's wisdom." And here's what happens when you start honoring your natural rhythm. You stop feeling guilty about needing rest. You stop comparing your 3 p.m. energy to your 10 a.m. energy. You start seeing the dips as normal and necessary, not as personal failures. But let's address the elephant in the room. What if your life doesn't allow for perfect energy management? What if you're a parent with young kids, or you work a job with fixed hours, or you're dealing with shift work? Here's the truth. Even small alignments make a huge difference. If you can't change your work schedule, maybe you can tackle your most challenging household tasks during your high-energy periods. If you're a night owl stuck in a morning job, maybe you can prep everything the night before to reduce morning decision fatigue. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress. It's about working with your biology instead of constantly fighting it. One more thing I want you to remember. Your energy patterns might shift with seasons, life stages, or major changes. The woman who was a night owl in her 20s might find herself naturally waking earlier in her 40s. The early bird might discover evening bursts of creativity after retirement. Stay curious about your own evolution. So here's what I want you to do right now. Don't wait for Monday or next week. Starting today, begin noticing your energy. Set a gentle reminder every 2 hours and just check in. How am I feeling right now? What was I doing? What might have influenced this? Remember, you're not trying to fix anything or optimize anything. You're just getting curious about the beautiful, complex rhythm that's uniquely yours. Because once you understand your personal energy blueprint, you'll stop feeling like you're constantly swimming upstream. Your energy isn't random. Your productivity struggles aren't character flaws. You're just a human being trying to work with a system that might not have been designed for your particular rhythm. And that's okay. That's actually the beginning of real change. I'm Tony, and I believe your natural rhythm is not something to overcome, it's something to celebrate. Start your 3-day experiment today, and let me know in the comments what you discover. Maybe you'll find that your peak energy window is completely different from what you expected. Maybe you'll finally understand why certain times of day feel so difficult. Either way, you're taking the first step toward a life that feels less like a constant struggle and more like a dance with your own natural rhythm. And that, my friend, is exactly where transformation begins.